What's up, Transformers fans? I'm Mondo, and this is another Moonbase 84 transmission. A few days ago, I shared my top 10 iconic / influential Optimus Prime toys throughout his history. Being the face of the Transformers franchise, we have gotten a ton of Prime figures, some Prime and some not so Prime, pun intended. While not being necessarily iconic or influential, there are still a boatload of great Primes out there. Some have become fan favorites, while some are good toys that often get overlooked or are underappreciated in this nerd's humble opinion. So, after poring over the hundreds of Prime toys from the past 40 years, here are 5 Prime toys that I feel are overlooked or underappreciated. But before we get started, if you could just hit the like button, subscribe, and all that jazz, it would mean the world to me. With that out of the way, let's get into the list. You might think I'm crazy for thinking that this first toy on the list is underappreciated. Compared to the other toys that I'm going to talk about, it kind of pales in comparison. In fact, it doesn't even come with a trailer, so naturally he doesn't have as much play value as the others. But what he lacks in play features, he makes up in fun factor. I'm talking about 2020's Deluxe Class Cyberverse Optimus Prime. And I bet I was right, and you guys think I'm nuts thinking that this toy is underappreciated, but hear me out. Cyberverse Prime is a fun little deluxe. He looks good in both modes and has a fun transformation. Yes, the back of his legs are hollow, but you have to remember the Cyberverse line is for kids more so than for collectors. He comes with his ion blaster and a blast effect that you can attach to the rifle, or open his chest and attach it for a matrix blast. The one accessory I wish he came with is his Autobot shield that he used to ram Decepticons with in the show. I did mention that he is lacking a trailer, and so that means lacking in play value, but as I said, his fun factor is very high. He articulates very well for his size and his price point. Cyberverse Prime is my play Prime. He's usually not too far out of reach, and I'm often picking him up and messing with him. The next toy on my list is one that I never laid my hands on until recently, but when I was messing around with him at my buddy's shop, I immediately knew that I needed to add him to my collection. Here I'm talking about 2018's Power of the Primes Optimus Prime, or Pot Pop. As I was playing with him in the shop, I said to my buddy that I often see negative comments online about this figure, so I never picked him up, and I couldn't understand why, having him now in hand. I think this Prime is a great toy. I love how you get an Orion Pax figure that you add to the toy's armor to turn Orion into Optimus Prime. It definitely gives me heavy Ultra Magnus vibes. Both robot modes look great, as well as his truck and trailer mode. Sadly, he just had this Prime in the store for decoration and he wasn't for sale, but I do have my buddy on the hunt to track one down for me. Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Prime is number 3 on my list and is one that I once had, but unfortunately it got stolen along with the rest of my collection back in the day. I really love this figure, and mark my words, he will be added to my collection once again sooner rather than later. This toy is big and chunky, and I love the aesthetic for it. This Prime looks like he's fully capable of rolling out to kick some Predacon ass. The aforementioned chunkiness, along with his design for his alt mode, give off an apocalyptic vibe. In robot mode, you can arm him to the teeth because he comes with 2 blasters as well as a translucent green sword. The one thing that is not that great about this toy is his head sculpt. It's okay that he's unmasked, but the expression doesn't really say Optimus Prime to me. There is another very similar Beast Hunters Prime that was released, but I like this one better because I think that one has a bit too much of the translucent green plastic going on. I think number 4 on the list is underappreciated, not necessarily because it's a great Optimus Prime toy, but more so because it's a great way to have a fun toy without fear of it crumbling in your hands. Here I'm talking about Machine Wars Optimus Prime from 1997. This toy sports a really cool futuristic truck and trailer combo alt mode, which is fitting for Prime. His robot mode, in contrast, doesn't really scream Optimus Prime though, especially in the head sculpt, which is ironically more Pax than Prime. As I said, the main allure for this figure is that it is a repaint of the European exclusive G2 Thunder Clash, which sadly suffers from the dreaded gold plastic syndrome. While not the best Prime toy, this toy is great, if that makes any kind of sense. The trailer has really fun play value, featuring firing missiles both in trailer and base mode. Speaking of the base mode, it's more like a tower, and I think it's pretty wild. I definitely like this toy more as Thunder Clash than I do as an Optimus Prime, but going the Prime route is pretty much the only safe way to at least have this great mold in your collection, even though I'm sure that a modern revision would be lacking in play features compared to the original. I'm crossing my fingers that Hasbro gives us a new Thunder Clash complete with all his insane 90s colors splashed all over him. Anyway, thank you Machine Wars Optimus Prime for at least letting me have the experience of G2 Thunder Clash without having to worry about you falling apart. That is why I say this toy is underappreciated. I touched on this last toy a bit in the last video, and although he didn't make the list of most iconic, he certainly makes this list of underappreciated Prime toys. He's the one and only 1994 combat hero Optimus Prime. What else can I say, but I absolutely love this toy. It's just a very fun take on Optimus. Both his truck and robot mode really pop thanks to his white, yellow, and red deco. He articulates nicely for the time and sports a fun little transformation. Although he doesn't feature a trailer, there's a lot of fun to be had with this toy in a very simplistic way. He features huge firing missiles which launch by hammering down on the plunger, and they fire really far if you smash that thing. Just don't go too hard because you don't want to break this fantastic toy. He is the middle child when it comes to G2 Prime toys, and I think that is why he gets lost in the mix. I'm happy that I decided to pick him up and give him a chance because I think he's great. So this has been my look at 5 underappreciated / overlooked Optimus Prime toys throughout his illustrious 40-year history. I can think of a few more off the top of my head, but wanted to keep it to 5 for the purpose of this video. There are also some more recent Prime toys that I think are in danger of falling into this category as well, namely Reactivate Prime and the VNR Prime. Reactivate because so far he is from a 4-figure toy line based on a game that I worry more and more that it might never come out. As for the toy itself, it's a really great Prime, and I recommend checking him out if you haven't already. The just as impressive VNR Optimus risks falling into obscurity for the fact that it's not tied to any sort of show or other media. This toy was meant to be Amazon Prime. That deal fell through, so Hasbro went ahead and just released it under the VNR moniker due to it having the licensed Volvo alt mode. So that's a wrap for this video. Comment to let me know what your favorite Optimus Prime toys are and if you feel they are overlooked or underappreciated. I'd love to see what everyone comes up with. Thanks again for all the support, and as always, thanks for docking.